So, in this episode, we're going to take a break from weight loss and fat loss and go more specifically into being comfortable with where you're at now. And you want to see some results as far as physique, muscle, and you're not understanding why you're not getting any of those cuts or, quad muscles, hamstrings popping out. And you just want to be a little bit more muscular for the work you're putting in. You know, this will have a good payoff in the long run. Having more muscle burns more fat or raises BMR, but you want to see some of these results for all the work you're doing. So if that sounds like where you're at right now, then stay tuned and we'll get into it. Real quick, is losing weight after 40 while still enjoying your social life a challenge? Well, you're not alone because that's pretty much everybody. On the Over 40 Fitness Hacks podcast, I share insights from my 15 plus years as a personal trainer and gym owner, helping people like you strike the right balance. For those ready to take action, please sign up for my online personal training program on my website or through the link in the show notes. Together, we'll design a plan that fits your lifestyle and helps you achieve your goals without sacrificing the fun. And remember, everyone is different. We will find a program that works for you. So obviously, most of the time on my channel, I talk about being over 40, how hard it is to keep weight off. But if you've been listening to me for a long time, you've been making some changes. Hopefully, you're kind of already there. There's always that extra, get from the 80% doing everything right to the 100% or the 90% club. And that's where you're really in the single digit body fat. Like I said, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about, let's see something for all our work that we're putting in. And I don't know why I'm stuck where I can't get my quads a little bit bigger, my hamstrings, my deltoids. And it's not just for guys. Girls want to see these cuts too. And I'm telling you, the more lean muscle you put on, we all know that raises our BMR. It's going to burn more fat for us and better in the long run. So why aren't you seeing those results? And I wanted to do this episode because usually when I talk to people and see the great routine they got and their diet's on point, pretty much, like I said, the top two reasons are always the same. And it's always protein consumption isn't high enough ever for females, not even close, just from what I've seen, not to pick on females. Maybe I'm picking on my own wife all the time. And number two is you're not stimulating the muscle enough. So whether you adopt my idea of time under tension and doing everything slower, or you're just going the traditional, normal 1 to 2 second reps because you're comfortable with that, that's fine. But I'm telling you, the reason why you're not growing if your protein is good is because your stimulation isn't good enough. And being over 40, you can't just stimulate the muscle a little bit and expect it to grow. You need to stress it out. And how we do that is either time under tension or mechanical load. And always, I hate saying to failure, I like calling it doing it effectively. They call it effective reps. Basically means working that exercise you're doing to failure, no matter what you thought you could do with the weight for how many reps you wanted to do. You're going to go past that if you can without hurting yourself. So that's why I hate saying to failure, because people end up doing jerking motions on like bicep curls or not squatting down far enough because they can't get that extra rep if they don't do it. So those are the two main things. And let's go to protein consumption. For someone with that problem, I like to make it easy for them. Don't worry about counting your total calories and already know where you're supposed to be. And like I said, you're worried right now about putting on lean muscle more than having ripped abs. So let's not worry about the diet too much. All you got to do is count that protein. And every time, no one's doing it. If you've been listening to my channel, I've been doing a lot of more intermittent fasting and not only closing my eating window down pretty tight, but also on certain days, only having one meal for the day or 2 meals if I'm doing a workout. And besides the benefits you get from that, from getting into your fasting faster and more often and being able to turn on that fat burning mechanism in your body, it's easier to count protein. I'm only doing it 1 time or 2 times for the day. It's not like 3 to 5 meals a day where you really hate writing down stuff or I can't remember what I was doing. So if you can get into the habit of, let's make it easy, doing 2 meals a day, that's pretty much good for everybody, I think, in my opinion, over 40. Even easier if you're someone who's a little bit lighter because you don't need that much protein. And there you go. My go-to answer for how much protein you need is, there's all these different theories out there. My favorite one is eat however many grams of protein of the body weight you want to be. So if you want to be 150 pounds, you need to eat 150 grams. For me, I want to be 190. I got to eat 190 grams of protein. No ifs, and or buts. It's got to happen every day, even on your cheat days. That's fine. Still get in that protein and cheat on top of it. Who cares? But you got to have that protein And if you're doing 2 meals, you got to split it in half. Is the easiest way to do it. If not, maybe a little bit more on your first meal than your second meal. You have a better chance to digest it throughout the day. And I personally, because I have to have 85 grams per meal, I got to have digestive enzymes to even give myself a shot at absorbing all that. On top of that, I've done an episode before of finally kicking off protein shakes, and I started doing the carnivore diet. And although I don't really recommend doing carnivore diet forever, I mean, everyone can make their decision. If you feel great on it, that's fine. I felt terrible. And I see people that have issues and autoimmune things, and a friend had alopecia and he started growing hair back. Like, I've seen the benefit of going carnivore, at least for a short time. But what I noticed for me was when I started eating only meat, animal meat, no protein shakes, which mine would pea protein based, that I started seeing more lean muscle than I typically would have. And I had been eating the same amount of grams of protein. So that just tells me that the bioavailability of protein is better with animal meat, or it's just slower digesting. So you have more chances of assimilating that protein as it's going down your digestive tract, maybe than the pea protein shake, which maybe just runs right through you. You had an hour of absorption and that's it. I don't know all the science behind everything, and there's so much out there. All I know is when I biohack certain things and I see winning tickets, and I jump on that winning ticket. Try it for yourself. You make your own decision. So enough with protein. You got that covered. That's number one. Then the other is I'm hitting my 200 grams of protein or 150. I just don't see my delts growing. I just don't see my quads growing. And it's because you're not stimulating the muscle enough during your workouts. And like I said, there's time under tension philosophy, and then there's the mechanical load philosophy. Either one you want to do, you can also put them together, which is what I do. I do time under tension, which means I spend more time under tension. So I go 4 to 5 seconds, the concentric portion of the exercise, which would be on a bicep curl on the way up, and the eccentric slowing all the way down. I'll go to 5 to 6 seconds on the way down. That puts me more time under tension than my old routine where 1 to 2 seconds up and down. I'd be gassed out because of how much weight I was using. So with time under tension, you go slower, you cut half the weight, you're still stimulating that muscle. Either one you do, like I said, you have to pretty much go to a failure safely, or what we call effective reps. So every day could be different. You could be feeling it or not feeling it. That's okay. You adjust, or you just do more reps. So say you were supposed to do 10 reps and you get to 10 and you're like, okay, I did it. That's wrong. You picked the weight. You were wrong about the weight. You have more energy in you, more glycogen in you, or whatever you use, and maybe you're on creatine. And if you could have done 5 to 10 to, 15 more, you do it. You have to maximize your time in that gym, and you have to go to failure safely, effectively. So when you have that mindset, numbers don't matter anymore. So on your next set, you're like, wow, I really went off course on the bicep curls, picking 25-pound weights up into 30 or 35, and boom, you're back on track to your number that you wanted, which has some proof in the pudding. 8 to 10 reps for hypertrophy, 15 reps for a little bit of mix of both with some endurance. And then of course there's the people who do calisthenics or real lightweight and go 20 to 30 reps. You're obviously not going to build as much muscle with that theory. But either way, if you're picking hypertrophy and trying to build lean muscle, you want to do pretty much 10 reps on everything to failure. Or if you're doing more time under tension like me, we're looking at like 5 to 6 reps and mimic the same amount of gains you would get for the other side. So that's the beauty. Now you don't have to count really anymore. Just grab weight you feel, work it, mix it up. There is no right or wrong answer. I see these big bodybuilders telling you this is the only way to stimulate it with this heavy load and blah, blah, blah. Dude, that's not how your body works. Just stimulate it to failure safely. Put the protein in, your body will respond and grow, and there's your lean muscle. And most of us are happy with just a significant amount of lean muscle. Now, the bodybuilders trying to put on shows and put the max amount of everything, okay, that's fine. That's not us and my over 40 crowd. Or if it is you, go find one of those shows. Mine is for the over 40 crowd looking to get the best bang for the buck, be healthy, and enjoy their social life. So those are my top 2 reasons why you might be messing up building the lean muscle you think you should be having right now. Hit that protein 7 days a week and really focus on every exercise you do in the gym. Am I doing this to failure safely or effectively? And try that out for a month and we'll see where you're at. So, and as always, if you click on my show notes or go to my website, you can schedule a 15-minute Zoom consultation with me absolutely free just to see if I can't point you in the right direction. And then after that, if you need help, I have other services for that as well. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.